What are we talking about first? What's the
We
first
talk about
topic?
whatever the hell we want first. There's a lot to talk about.
Let's talk about Asuka getting her streak
that's
broken.
fair.
Okay.
I thought this was a terrible decision.
I'm not surprised.
I'm pissed off. As soon as me and my mom were watching this, I've got my mom back into professional wrestling now, and so she's watching this, and she saw Asuka tap out so quickly, and my mom's like, she tapped out? Like, she's undefeated? She taps out like that? I thought she would be stronger. And really, to be honest with you, if you're a casual fan, you see Asuka get amped up. We see Asuka get everybody talks about how great Asuka is, how her undefeated streak is the best in history of any man or woman in the WWE, WCW, and how, Asuka can't be beaten. Nobody's ready for Asuka. And yet Charlotte taps out Asuka with one freaking arm. Like, come on. What's going on here? And now I'm hearing talks that next year's WrestleMania's main event is going to be Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte, which I said was a more marquee name, but I'm just upset with how they did it with Asuka. I think it's a terrible idea. It's a terrible decision. And WrestleMania in New Orleans, that's where a streak is going to get broken. So if you have a streak, don't wrestle New Orleans in WrestleMania, man, because your streak getting broken, man. Vince McMahon gonna troll you. Woo.
Okay, so note to self: don't have a WrestleMania or an event in New Orleans. Is that what you're saying?
How about you don't have a 7-hour event? That thing was ridiculous, man. But yeah, I mean, if you got a streak, don't show up to New Orleans, man, because, it's just like when The Rock said, LeBron, don't go to Cleveland. Don't go to Cleveland.
Well, I'll say this. As much as I didn't like the fact that Asuka lost to Charlotte, I just got to respect the match itself. The match did deliver. There were a lot of counters involved in the match. Both of them gave it their all. Yes, it is disappointing to see Asuka lose, but then at the same time, I gotta look at it this way: at least this significant other didn't cash in her Money in the Bank contract in the middle of the match, and won in an upset victory.
That's a good point. That would have been a lot worse.
Yeah,
I don't think
dude.
the crowd would have liked if Carmella, who's now the women's champion, would have cashed in during the match. Then there's far worse things that could have happened. But Ryan, I do have to agree with you. The way she tapped out, I'm okay with her tapping out overall.
I'm not okay with it, period.
No, but I think that proves you're the true winner of the match when a person taps out. We look at matches in history, and a lot of times a guy will tap out. I can remember Shawn Michaels tapped out to John Cena at 23. Triple H tapped out to Cena at 22. We've had other tap outs. I think The Undertaker made Edge tap out at one of the WrestleManias.
So what are you trying to say, that Charlotte's going to become the female John Cena, Roman Reigns?
No.
I'm already hearing that.
No. I'm saying that I think when you're trying to prove a point in the WWE and really prove a winner is a winner, you have someone tap out. Now, I think you made good points with her having an injured arm. It kind of did seem like it was kind of a weaker whatever. I don't remember what her special move is called.
It's her figure eight.
Figure eight, yeah. The figure eight. I don't think that that necessarily they booked the end of that match well, but I'm okay with her tapping out. But the streak needed to end, and I actually said this before the podcast. It was getting too predictable with Asuka every single night that she was going to win. And I've mentioned this a lot on the podcast. I don't like predictability. And one of the reasons I like this WrestleMania is because there was a lot of unpredictable stuff that happened.
Yeah, they trolled you.
Yeah,
the WrestleMania is the one time of the year when as a fan, when you think you've got it, they change everything on you. What Roddy Piper said it best: just when you think you know the answers, I changed all the questions. They do that to you, because every time I came into a match thinking I knew absolutely, besides the Triple H Ronda Rousey Kurt Angle match, and even then that was some unpredictability. You had men fighting women in that.
That was fantastic. That was
fantastic. Yeah. But besides that, I mean, there's a lot of points throughout the show where I was kind of like, I did not expect this to happen. I did not expect, and I think even the placement of the match itself, the second match on the card, for me personally, that just mind effed me too. Like, I was just saying, this whole thing is just mind effing me. Like, I don't know how in the world you can build Asuka up after this. Where's she going? She going to SmackDown in the Superstar Shakeup? Are we going to see a rematch with Charlotte? Are they going to go on separate brands? Is Charlotte going to Raw? I mean, we haven't seen Asuka in the 2 days that she's been here. At least sell her. At least maybe let her come out and do something to kind of get her reestablished to the fans and get her out there in front of the crowd and let her know that, you know what? I lost my first matchup, but this is not going to defeat me. But I've seen no Asuka in the past 2 shows that we've had after WrestleMania. What's going on with Asuka?
Well, what is going on? Do you really think that match might have sort of scarred her in a way?
It ended it, yeah. It ended the aura of Asuka.
Okay, but what?
I think it ended the aura of Asuka. And as much as I love Charlotte, and I love Charlotte Flair, and I love Ric Flair, but I just don't think putting Charlotte over was the right decision in that situation. You have 2 similar styles with Asuka and Ronda Rousey. Somebody mentioned it on one of my podcasters that I listen to, and he makes a great point. You have 2 similar styles. That MMA background style matches perfectly with Asuka's strong style type of offense. And I just don't know how it's going to match between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte. You're going to try to build this up over a year? Okay, then don't put Charlotte on Monday Night Raw, because guess what? When everybody goes down, you're going to end up doing this matchup earlier than you expected. So you need to do what you did last year when it came to Asuka and Charlotte. You need to keep them on separate brands and let Ronda Rousey win the Women's Royal Rumble. And another thing while I'm at it, in terms of this Women's Royal Rumble thing, you let the first ever Women's Royal Rumble winner lose at WrestleMania? How does that add legitimacy and credibility to your Women's Royal Rumble?
Well, the Women's Royal Rumble, the match is not, when you win the Royal Rumble, it's not you're going to win at WrestleMania. It's you get a shot at WrestleMania.
But the odds are in the men's Royal Rumble, and we saw it this year, 2 Royal Rumble winners lost.
Yeah.
Who happened to be Japanese, ironically. But we saw it this year. That there's a trend. If you win the Royal Rumble, it's set up for you to go to WrestleMania and win. The story is you should be winning 70-something% of the time in the men's thing.
Okay,
you win the Royal Rumble.
I have a good point here. A lot of people complain when Randy Orton won last year, though.
Yeah, that was a different.
No, it's not different. No, people just aren't happy with
storyline.
anything.
No,
wrestling fans.
No, that was storyline.
And this is a big thing. This is a big thing with me over the weekend, because I think, Ryan, you went into WrestleMania with expectations, major expectations. It seems like you're disappointed.
I'm not disappointed with WrestleMania. I'm disappointed with some of the booking.
Okay, that's fair. It just seemed like you were disappointed with the whole WrestleMania. I was like, man, there was a lot of good stuff on that show.
I'm disappointed with sitting 7 hours. I couldn't do it. I tapped out before the main event. I didn't watch that.
You complained about that on the podcast.
I didn't watch that shit. I couldn't do it anymore. The KFC wore off. The KFC and the pizza. The KFC, the pizza, all the chicken and the mashed potatoes, that wore off, man. I even got a roll of McFlurry, man. I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I'm tapping out, man. Nicholas did it for me. But, like, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, like, I don't know where the WWE is going, what the WWE does. Sometimes I know WrestleMania is supposed to be the ending point of the booking year, but you also need to have a starting point for the new booking year. And I wonder what Asuka's starting point is.
Well, here, I have a theory. I think they might, let's say, they might give her like a month off or something like it. She'll come back after Backlash. Because I think the thing with Asuka was, and even with me, she kind of seemed like one of those superstars that kind of need to keep special a little bit. Like, you didn't need to wrestle her every night, and it seemed like she was wrestling every night, like the past couple weeks. So I think they'll give her some time off. They'll give her some time off until after Backlash, and then she'll come back, and hell, we might see her fight Rousey next. Because technically she's still on the Raw brand. She never really was on the SmackDown brand. She just wanted to fight the SmackDown champion.
We're probably going to have to figure out how that's going to happen, since that superstar shakeup is next week.
Yeah.
So who knows? I'm pretty sure they're going to keep Ronda on Raw.
There's no way. Yeah, they keep her on SmackDown.
I just don't see that.
Raw.
I just don't see her going to SmackDown. Asuka and Charlotte, there might be chances where they're going to be switching brands.
Well, no, Asuka's on. So you're saying because Asuka's on Raw. So this Ronda Rousey thing could happen, and this is just a theory. I'm not. I haven't heard anything about this. Right. I'm just saying. That's a way maybe to get Asuka over again is have her face Rousey, and hell, right. Maybe she beats Rousey.
Well,
right.
Well, also the thing is that we're kind of ignoring is that aren't they supposed to be competing for the women's championship on both their respective brands? I mean, that's one of the things why they were going after each other was because of the title. So Nia Jax has the women's title, thanks now beating Alexa Bliss, and also now we got more women involved in the women's division. Ember Moon, her coming in on Raw, and I think Peyton Royce and I forgot
Billy Kay.
Yeah, Billy Kay. So
Dang, that's not good that you just forgot Billy Kay.
The iconic. Hey, you know what though? Yeah. I'll admit it though. I forgot about them. I did not I did not expect them to be people that showed up for some reason. Dude, I hadn't seen them on NXT. I like we mentioned last week. We don't really watch NXT besides the pay-per-views. So if the Iconics
NXT fantastic last
if
week.
the Iconics aren't on actual like the pay-per-views, I forgot about them. But when they showed up, whew, in more ways than not, I was happy to see them.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
Let me tell you something too, and also like I want to talk a little bit some more about this Asuka thing, because what do you think her route is? You say Ronda Rousey, okay? No, you've got to save that at least for a SummerSlam matchup, okay? So what's Asuka's next?
Why
move?
do you have to wait for SummerSlam to do that?
Because like I said,
I mean, we saw
earlier in the
AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan on SmackDown.
I said
week.
this earlier on the podcast. I say if you want to have it, if you want to have Ronda Rousey main event WrestleMania, you need to have a road set up for her. Her first task, her first true test, is against Asuka, against her true competitor, and then her final true test is against Charlotte at WrestleMania.
True.
35.
Okay, so this goes to my point though. So you give Asuka like a month or whatever off, and you have Asuka beat Ronda Rousey. And Ronda Rousey's humbled in some way. And at SummerSlam, you have a rematch or something like that, and you have Rousey beat Asuka. That's one of her steps to get to Charlotte. Makes sense, right? Rousey's going to have to win.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, what are we doing with Asuka, man? Are we just booking her, or is she going into mid-card hell?
Well, what do you want?
And it's worse to be in the mid-card hell in the women's division.
Well, I think anybody that's not in the title picture is in mid-card for
hell.
women. Anyway, as much as we want to talk about women's revolution or whatever.
Revolution,
yeah,
the Me Too movement being involved, whatever you want to call it.
Wait, what was that last thing you said?
The Me Too movement.
Oh, no, you said something. You said something after that. But
whatever you want to call it.
No, I think, well, let me just ask you this. What do you want from Asuka? Do you want her to be a champion?
I want her to be a champion.
Well, then why don't you just go after Nia Jax? Hey, I'll go after the Raw champion since I couldn't beat the SmackDown champion.
I mean, yeah,
and John Cena does.
It makes sense, but we didn't have she didn't come out afterwards.
No,
if I was booking the show, I would have had her come out and challenge Nia Jax next week on Raw. Be like, this might be my final night on Raw. I might as well go after the championship.
Fair enough.
I mean, I don't get sometimes the decisions after WrestleMania. We work hard to get to WrestleMania, and then we wait until the last minute to make the decision to WrestleMania, just like with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. So at the end of the day, what are you going to do? You build up this woman all throughout NXT and all throughout the WWE. This is part of the reason why I get frustrated when people get called up from NXT, because they get built up so well and they get spoiled with such fantastic booking that once they get to the main roster, once you flounder them, once you have one little step of adversity, they don't know how to handle it. The crowd doesn't know how to deal with that type of situation. And I don't know how the crowd's going to accept Asuka when she shows up after her losing, unless you book her in a situation where they are going to cheer her. So you either have her confront somebody like Ember Moon or Nia Jax or Alexa Bliss. No, we've seen that before. Or you have her go to SmackDown. I think you have Asuka go to SmackDown. Okay, you have to keep her separate from Ronda Rousey, and then you have them challenge each other at SummerSlam, because of the major pay-per-views. Nobody gives a crap about which brand you're on. You just challenge whoever you want.
That's not. But you really think that's going to happen? That we're just going to start like, oh, you're on SmackDown, but here I'm just going to challenge someone from Raw?
It happened a few years ago in 2016 with Randy Orton versus Brock Lesnar.
That's true, but Lesnar kind of was like one of those free agent guys. Like he wasn't
Lesnar
really
was on Raw. Lesnar was on Raw.
I don't think Lesnar's on Raw. I think
Randy Orton was on. Lesnar is officially contracted to Monday Night Raw. He was drafted by Monday Night Raw. Randy Orton was drafted by Tuesday Night SmackDown, and they were set up for a match against each other at that year's SummerSlam, and that was brand versus brand. And Randy Orton invaded Raw 2 weeks after the damn brand split. So what I'm trying to say is this: you can have SmackDown versus Raw at major damn pay-per-views. What I'm trying to say is they're not booking Asuka in a way that makes the WWE
right. And there's only been one show. You're acting like we've been a month now, and Asuka. There's been one
Two
show she
shows.
wasn't on.
There's
No,
been
she's
two
not on
shows.
SmackDown. Why would she
Doesn't
show up on
matter.
SmackDown?
She was showing up on SmackDown.
Because she was facing Charlotte.
Doesn't
You're
matter.
making it. You're acting like she's a SmackDown Live superstar. She's not a SmackDown Live
She was
superstar.
technically both for a month.
John Cena is the only guy really that can go both brands. And we didn't see John Cena.
He's kind of free agent.
Why aren't you complaining about John Cena?
You know why? Because John Cena got that ass whooped.
Yeah,
He's
John Cena
embarrassed.
did that.
Okay.
By the way,
You mean that squash match?
that squash match at WrestleMania.
That's what it was. It was a squash match.
You know what though? Well, you know what's funny though. That kind of needed to
Undertaker
happen.
put his nuts in John Cena's face. I mean, like, come on, man. There's no more greater embarrassment.
I'll tell you this.
Unless you get dunked on by LeBron. I mean, like,
We talked a lot
like-
about, just switching gears real quick. We talk a lot about the Undertaker's health. Man, when he ran the ropes in that match, and it was 2 minutes, so there wasn't a lot to watch. I was very impressed with the guy that's 75 years old.
53.
I know.
53.
But a guy that's that old and that has had all these injuries lately could run the ropes that quickly and deliver some of the moves he delivered to Cena. I was impressed. Now it was a short match, and I think any match that he has, now coming up, I think he's actually going to face Rusev in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
Did you guys hear that?
It's been confirmed.
That's going to be another squash match.
Now the thing is that
Rusev's not
it
over
was-
in Saudi Arabia.
It was too short. I did feel that match was way too short, and this is actually the first time that I saw Cena like shiver, frozen when he saw.
I
the
thought
dead
that
man.
was a fantastic touch to that little that whole program. Here's the thing.
And were you at least a little disappointed you didn't see American Badass Taker?
A little bit.
When I heard when the lights went out first and Elias's music thing came out, I was like, oh shit. Oh shoot! It's gonna be Kid Rock. It's gonna be Kid Rock in his mug, and then all of a sudden, hello, I'm Elias, and I'm just like,
Well, I actually liked that whole segment. I think the thing about 2-minute matches, that was like a 25-minute segment or something like that
Yeah.
they did. So they didn't necessarily need the match. It was entertaining what was going on. You had Elias get nuclear heat walking out to that. Because I was like, dude, really? Are we
Yeah.
not going to have The Undertaker? Like, is Elias going to ruin this whole thing?
yeah.
And then The Undertaker finally comes out. Cena does a great job of acting like he's
He's
nervous wreck.
terrified. He's terrified.
Nervous wreck. And then the whole thing where he fell down when The Undertaker
Oh,
sat up.
fantastic.
That was fantastic.
Me and my mom were just laughing
Dude,
at that.
it was some good
Dude,
stuff.
It was
It was some
awesome.
good stuff. I was thoroughly entertained by that whole segment. And Undertaker, like we all predicted, he won and he needed to win.
definitely. I told my dad that what's been happening these past few weeks. I've been telling him, yeah, Cena's been taunting him, trying to call him out, trying to do everything he can to get the Undertaker's response. And my dad's like, well, too bad, Cena, because you're gonna have to face the consequences. You wanted this, there you go.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was, dude. Cena talked so much crap the last couple weeks. He deserved getting tombstone on the top of his head at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, and getting the nuts put in his face.
Exactly. That's an extra touch by Mark Calloway there. That's extra touch by Mark Calloway there on that one, putting his nuts in his face. Take this, Cena. But
Nuts in face.
all right,
Nuts
so
in
let's
face.
discuss this. Let's discuss this Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns thing.
Oh god.
Yeah, we got to talk about it. So
What y'all think about that promo
the promo by Roman Reigns
after Raw?
Well,
on Raw.
okay. I love the Samoan Joe promo. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
it?
that's
And Roman did a good job of acting really mad in the ring, but what he was saying was true. And I love Samoa Joe. He's a great wrestler. He's entertaining to
Definitely.
watch in the ring, and he's got great mic skills. Okay, the guy should be pushed to the moon.
Samoa Joe, he's a dangerous animal, that's for sure. Now looking at this WrestleMania match between Lesnar and Roman Reigns, seeing that Lesnar gave him 7 F5s, 6 F5s.
Well, Eric, we'll talk about this since Ryan didn't see it.
I lost count. Okay, now I looked at this match, and Brock did get pretty pissed when he was pummeling Reigns, and he couldn't. He kept getting kicked out,
Yeah.
and now I'm looking at this, and I can tell by the commentators, they said that well, Roman Reigns got this no give up attitude, and I said to myself, wait a minute, you guys are giving him this no give up attitude, and yet the fans are not buying.
They're
into
giving
this.
up on the match.
Yes.
Yeah.
The fans are just saying this is awful. This is BS. This is, they just started booing. They booed everything, and also they're giving Roman Reigns this no give up attitude, same way on how John Cena was towards Brock Lesnar when he took him to Suplex City at SummerSlam in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they're trying to give him that same thing to Roman Reigns. Now, for Roman, it just didn't work. This is happening when he was already busted open. He looked like a bottle of ketchup was being thrown into his face. But yeah, it was it was a complete disaster. I thought so.
I did see the highlights from the match afterwards, and the man kicked out of 7 F5s.
Yeah, that was stupid.
What? Like, come on, man. Seriously, like, how many times are we gonna just like lay out the red carpet for this guy, lay out the mat, and let him do everything he can and go through every extreme attempt to get this man over, and yet this man still can't get over. He still can't get over at this point in the game. I don't know what else you can do with this dude. So I think Vince McMahon made the right decision. You sign Brock Lesnar to a short-term deal, and you let him beat CM Punk's record. And now they're facing each other in Saudi Arabia. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, Vince McMahon did the rematch because he wants Roman Reigns to win on foreign soil where he can get a better reaction. But do the fans in Saudi Arabia even like Roman Reigns?
Well, I actually don't think. I think the way this looks with this whole Saudi Arabia pay-per-view, there's a lot of see-through matches. I don't necessarily think he's going to win. I think he could just do this program with Samoa Joe after, and Lesnar could face someone like Lashley, or potentially a Daniel Bryan moving over to Raw, and you have that match at SummerSlam.
Well, I kind of want to see Lashley versus Lesnar.
I would love to see that too, but that could be a precursor. That could be something that happens in the next month or two. I think Lesnar's going to hold the title until SummerSlam and drop it to like someone like Daniel Bryan or someone that's really over. I think this Roman Reigns thing.
Don't do it.
I honestly think
do not put Daniel Bryan on Raw. It will be a complete disaster.
I don't think it will be. It will not be a complete disaster.
You will not have any chance of making Roman Reigns your top guy if you do not keep Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns.
You didn't let me
separate.
finish, though. You didn't let me finish.
Okay,
I think Vince has finally realized, and I could be 100% wrong on this, but he's finally realized that I don't think the Roman Reigns thing is going to work. And I think that was why, because he switched up. Roman Reigns was supposed to win that match. And McMahon switched that up on everybody and put Lesnar as winner because he saw the reaction.
Now, do you think that that's the reason why Lesnar, he walked out and then he went back into the curtain? I'm pretty sure you guys heard about this.
Yeah, they had a fight.
Yeah, that they got into an altercation. They threw the Universal title on the wall, or I think it might have been McMahon. I think Lesnar was pretty pissed off on how the match was received, and I think
that's exactly him.
And I think he said to Vince, "Don't ever put me to work with this guy. I'm done."
So they put him 3 weeks later.
I'm done. Like you guys saw the reaction. Just stop putting me to work with this guy. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's 7 F5s. It kills Brock Lesnar's credibility. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It makes the F5 seem like BS. And all the people that he beat with one F5, too, it just makes them seem like BS too.
Yeah, Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe. Like, good God. Like, Kane. Like, you can just go down a list of people that Brock Lesnar has destroyed, and then you let Roman Reigns take 7 finishers to just win. Come on, man. Yeah.
Like, I can't even talk. I'm speechless. Whatever we've said has been said by us and countless other people. It ain't working, bro. It ain't working with Roman Reigns.
It's not working. And think about this. We talk about the F5s. So Roman Reigns kicked out 7 F5s, and one Colossus beat Rusev for the U.S. title from Jinder Mahal. Oh, yeah. So Jinder Mahal's got the most lethal finisher in the game, man. That guy, nobody ever kicks out of that move. Good so, yeah, God. You're right. I mean, the credibility of Brock Lesnar looks bad, and I'm glad he got pissed. I think it's disrespectful to throw the title, to be honest. I think that's a little over the top. But respect the game a little bit more.
Brock Lesnar doesn't give a crap about the wrestling.
I know, and I heard Shane McMahon confront him over that and stuff like that. But I do think it's good, and I think you might be
By
right.
the way, I'm getting tired of Shane McMahon just randomly. Aren't you supposed to be the SmackDown commissioner anyway? He's just randomly showing up.
Well, he can be
Raw.
at WrestleMania. And
like, even Paige was like, after Raw, I walked back the curtain and Shane McMahon was there, and I'm like, okay, all right, like, come on.
Well, he might have been asking her to be his GM.
No, yeah, definitely. Well,
keeping kayfabe alive, Ryan.
Well, Brock doesn't like people, but I'm pretty sure he does want to know how he did in the ring. So him seeing the match with Roman, I think he has every right to be upset. And so that being said, let's talk about Daniel Bryan's performance.
Well, okay. We're a little long in this first segment, so I want to switch it up and go to Ryan Rants.
Okay.
Real quick, because I know Ryan's been waiting for this for literally
Man,
like he
y'all got
hasn't
me
been able
early.
to.
Y'all got me early in the
I want to
thing.
hear this. I want to hear this.
Y'all got me early in the thing talking.
Hey, we're
man.
booking you like Charlotte and Oscar today.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
wrote down a list.
Yeah, Charlotte and Oscar. I have a list down here.
Ryan never writes stuff down, and he wrote stuff down.
Yeah, I was so, because y'all never get here on time. I was so freaking upset with the fact that a 10-year-old kid named Nicholas, who we found out to
Is this
be
Ryan Rants right here?
John Cone's son. Yes, turn my mic on, okay? Turn my mic on. All right. Hashtag TrollMania. So Nicholas, a 10-year-old child, the son of John Cone, got picked up by Braun Strowman to be his partner in the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship match against Sheamus and Cesaro. And at that point in the game, I was completely and totally done. I couldn't do it anymore. Couple of things. Number one, I didn't know if Nicholas was a boy or a girl until he said, "What's your name, young man?" And I was like, thank God. Okay? Because I didn't know who that person was, and I didn't want to screw up and say, oh my God, Braun Strowman got a girl.
I thought it was a chick.
Yeah, I thought it was a girl. Number two, this match followed AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura after Shinsuke turned heel, in which AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, and excuse my French, they shit the bed. It was awful. It was terrible. Like it was not what they wanted, what I wanted to see. And then you turn Shinsuke Nakamura heel, which you're gonna talk about in a few minutes. I thought that was a terrible idea too. But let me run down the list of people that Nicholas has joined as a tag team champion in WWE history. And you tell me if a 10-year-old child has the right and if the WWE has, in the words of Stephen A. Smith, the unmitigated gall to put this boy as the 10-year-old boy as the Raw Tag Team Champion, former Raw Tag Team Champion. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Mick Foley, The Rock, the Wild Samoans, the Legion of Doom, the Steiner Brothers, Harlem Heat, the Dudley Boys, and Edge and Christian. Oh, I forgot, the Hardy Boys. So we have all these fantastic tag teams in the WWE, and Nicholas is now a part of all of them. And then, guess what? He shows up the next night to relinquish the title, and guess what? The crowd goes crazy for him and starts cheering for him. You know what? Y'all, I done talked to y'all already before about Roman Reigns, and I'm going to talk to you again. This is why the WWE doesn't take you seriously. This is why they keep pushing Roman Reigns. This is why they keep selling tickets and these big-ass stadiums. This is why you get 7-hour shows, because they know that you'll show up the next night and cheer for some damn 10-year-old kid. And it's ridiculous, and it makes no sense, and they don't take your complaints seriously. That's the reason why. And then you show up, and then you say, oh my God, why is this not the way it is? And why is Cesaro not getting pushed? Well, you just cheered for the kid who just got pushed over Cesaro. Vince McMahon is rather make a 10-year-old child be in a more prominent spot than Cesaro. Because we all know Vince McMahon hates Cesaro. At the end of the day, when it comes down to it, yeah, he hates Cesaro. He mentioned him personally on the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast. He said Cesaro doesn't have the it factor. So, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, 14 years ago.
That's how long. That was a long time ago.
It doesn't matter.
It was a long time ago.
Vince McMahon still thinks it. Okay, he let a 10-year-old child go over. Okay, it's ridiculous. WrestleMania should not be TrollMania. Stop this BS. Okay, I'm the RKJ man, and I'm always shooting my shot for greatness.
Mentioning Stephen A. Damn, dude.
So you know it's getting real. Just to show you guys the credibility of Ryan as a wrestling fan, he spelled Bret Hart's name on his list with 2 T's. So
who the hell cares?
Yeah, dude, that matters, man. There's a lot of Canadians that are going to be mad at you for this.
Who cares?
Well, actually, I think there was a match. Well, there was actually there was a match back in 1983 in which he started with the company, and they actually spelled his name with 2 T's.
Well, that's some information that I did not expect you to know, Eric.
Thanks to the DVD that I had. It was the Best There Is, Best There Was DVD, and I looked it up, and it's Bret Hart, and it had 2 T's. It was spelled with 2 T's. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up a second, 2 T's? I'm like, I didn't know about this, and then until later on, they had to shorten it out with 1 T.
Interesting. I did not know that. That's a great history there by Eric on that one.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Speaking of history, y'all watched the Andre the Giant documentary?
I don't have HBO, so I can't.
Oh, I have HBO.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it eventually. I definitely want to see it. Is it good? Is it good?
Ooh,
It's good.
I started watching
Okay.
a little bit. It's fantastic.
I did see who
Good
was
to
there.
know.
I did see who was there in the premiere, which was Triple H, Triple G, and
Triple G was there?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan was there.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it looks like Hogan and Triple H, they were having a conversation, and
still
then,
friends.
I don't know. People were putting captions there, and people were saying, "Put your caption right here. What do you think Triple H was saying to Hulk Hogan, or what do you think Hulk Hogan was telling him?" And then people were saying, "Let me tell you something, brother. Let me come back, brother. Whatever I said back in those days, they weren't true, brother. I'm good with black people, brother." You know?
Ryan, your take on that? Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with him saying the N-word, but at the same
Clearly.
time, yeah. You can't say the N-word unless you get permission. As I like to say, don't say the ER with the N-word
Real
unless
quick,
you expect
Ryan,
to
who
go
has
to
permission
the ER.
to say the N-word? Real quick, I just want to know who has permission.
Nobody said black people unless you get the permission of a black person. That's the rule in the Black People's Handbook. But
There it is. It's laid out.
it's laid out in the Black
Me
People's
and Eric
Handbook.
know now.
Yeah. Stay black. There you go, Eric. That was a good one. Okay, but like when it comes to Hulk Hogan, I'm okay with him coming back to the WWE if he makes a public apology.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to
he
see
should.
a public apology with him being in the ring and saying, "I messed up. I'm sorry about this. I've realized the mistakes from my wrong." And let's move on. If he can do a public apology and be legitimate, and sound legitimate. And plus, I mean, it didn't hurt Hulk Hogan that he got a nice chunk of change from this and that lawsuit too. So, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, his reputation might have been hurt, but that man got some money too. So, I think I'm willing for him to come back, and I'm willing to show forgiveness to him because he's one of the greatest of all time, and we don't have too many wrestling legends left, y'all. In case you haven't seen it, I mean, they've been dropping like flies over the past few years. And it's really sad. It's not funny actually. It's really really sad. It makes me want to cry. Roddy Piper gone way too soon. Dusty Rhodes. Oh, definitely Dusty. I miss Dusty. Going too soon. The Ultimate Warrior going way too soon. And going back to when I was a child, China, Eddie Guerrero. Oh my God, like so many wrestling legends who just made our childhood so much better or made other people's childhood so much better and got them into professional wrestling are dead and gone. So we need to accept Hulk Hogan while he's still here and bring him back and welcome him back to open arms because you never know when you might not have him again. The next moment's not promised to us. But I do want to see Hulk Hogan actually stand in the ring and admit he was wrong.
That was good, Ryan. That was very good.
Definitely, man. I know that the company WWE has their way of forgiveness, and it's true. Okay, there's a documentary with Razor Ramon. It was on E60, ESPN, 60 Minutes with Scott Hall about his drug addictions and all, whatever his demons, what he was doing. And I remember there was a quote from Stephanie, and she said, "Once you're part of the WWE family, you're part of the WWE family forever." Now,
Unless your name's Chris Benoit.
Those words basically just flagged me about the fact that, okay, when you said when you're part of WWE, you're part of WWE family forever. Okay, let's look back on the names that are not part of the WWE family forever and have worked for your company. China, Roddy Piper. Let's see, Kamala. Man, that guy, he was actually on the life support the other day. I'm not sure if you guys heard about.
Did
that.
not hear about this.
Yeah,
Go into your point.
Yeah, he was on life support.
Good Lord.
Yeah, and he wasn't getting any. I don't know. He wasn't getting any money. He wasn't getting any treatment from the WWE. From their insurance or anything like that. And geez, maybe guys who out there who I'm pretty sure don't have a really good record. Jimmy Snuka, that guy as well. And
Jimmy Snuka got in some trouble.
Yeah,
lately. With some bad stuff. So I don't know if he's
And he
necessarily
passed away.
the best example.
And Macho Man allegedly slept with Stephanie McMahon, but still, Macho
Well,
Man.
that's
is still
allegedly for sure.
one of the greatest of all time. But he did go to WCW, which I know Vince McMahon was not happy with him going to WCW.
Which is fair. I mean,
Um,
one of your top guys bolts off to go to another company. I wouldn't necessarily be happy about it either.
Yeah, so definitely think about it. Think about it. All those names out there. Yeah.
All right, are we gonna keep talking about Raw after Mania, WrestleMania? Anything else y'all want to talk about?
I think it's going to be time for Eric's indie segment right now. I want to hear about this because there's a lot that went on that wasn't involved with WWE. So let's go, Eric's indie update right
Definitely. And I also got some announcements this coming summer. So I want to say congrats to Sumi Sakai, who won the first ever Ring of Honor Women of Honor Championship. She defeated Tenille Dashwood. We also know her as Emma. This was at the Supercard of Honor on Saturday. Yeah, I think this was on Saturday that this happened. So she became the first ever Women of Honor champion. And over at WrestleCon, a little bit of an update of what's been happening. Jeremiah Crane, as we know him as Sami Callihan, defeated Matt Sydal in an I Quit match. Grueling match. It was definitely a violent match. That's how Sami Callihan likes his matches. He's a little bit of an update with him. The reason why he likes these hardcore matches is because he was a tag team with a guy that we know him, and he happens to be the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose. Yeah, so they used to be tag team partners in the Indies back in I think the mid 2000s, early 2000s, around there. And also Pentagon Jr., as we know him as Pentagon Dark, defeated Austin Aries and Phoenix. So that happens to be, I gotta say, that match was actually pretty good. Congrats to Pentagon Dark over at WrestleCon. And also anybody who wanted to know what happened between Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes at the Supercard of Honor. Well, Cody defeated Kenny Omega, and he beat him cleanly, of course. And Dalton Castle defeated Marty Scurll to retain his title. He's still the Ring of Honor champion. And Chavo Guerrero, he announced on WrestleCon that Lucha Underground Season 4 will be airing on June 13th of this year.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
Summer.
Lucha Underground coming back.
The day before my birthday.
Present right there, man. Little birthday present for
Exactly.
you. Definitely.
Oh,
man.
no.
So you get to watch. You get to watch Lucha Underground the night before, and then the strippers we send over to your house. You get to have fun with them.
Sounds fantastic.
Sounds like the typical birthday party for the Arcade J-Man, right?
Exactly.
Stay black, y'all.
Literally.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you a question, Eric. Do we think we can see either Pentagon Jr. or Phoenix in the WWE? Because we just saw Ricochet, a.k.a. Prince Puma, if you watch Lucha Underground, make his debut on NXT. I think it's going to take him a while to get adjusted to the whole NXT WWE vibe, but I think he's going to be fantastic. I think they're going to put him in 205 Live. But can we see Mr. Pentagon Jr., hashtag Sierra Miedo, and Phoenix in the WWE?
Okay. I will say this. There's a lot of guys on Lucha Underground that have a lot of potential for WWE. They can go to WWE. I can see them have a little bit more creative freedom in NXT. That's for sure. Phoenix, Pentagon Dark, because Pentagon Dark is probably the most over guy in Lucha Underground. Also, Mil Muertes. He's also another guy who can go to NXT, but my biggest fear is if they go to the Raw and SmackDown brand. I fear for the careers. I don't know. I don't know how they will do in the Raw and SmackDown brand, but NXT, I can see them succeed.
And plus, we always talk about this on the podcast, and it really does make a difference. The international flair, the inability to speak English. That is a huge issue.
It hurts. Yeah.
You really have to have a translator if you can't speak well, and we see it with Shinsuke Nakamura right now. You know, that little promo we cut on Tuesday night. Sorry, no speak English. Like, using that. The fact that they're foreign, you can't understand what they're saying, you don't know what they're saying, then they're automatically the heel to you because we don't get them, we don't understand them.
Maybe have a manager, I guess.
Yeah, but how many Selena Vegas do you have out there?
Yeah, because Andre Almas doesn't speak a lot of English at all.
Yeah.
And he's over as could be.
I mean, but he has Selena Vega who speaks English. She's smoking hot. I mean, like,
Not disagreeing.
Yeah, like you have that sex appeal, and honestly, I hope Andre Cien Almas goes to SmackDown. The lack of NXT superstars on Tuesday night. I don't even want to talk about what's going to happen next week in the Superstar Shakeup. I don't even want to predict it because I think SmackDown is going to get raped and pillaged again. I mean, it happens every year in every draft. Vince McMahon's like, oh, well, you're going to Raw. You were good on SmackDown, you're going to Raw. Yeah. And like, hey, you, Titus O'Neil, you're going to SmackDown.
Or Apollo.
I mean, Apollo, you're going to SmackDown. Finn Balor, I was gonna send you on Raw. Or SmackDown, you're staying on Raw.
Kurt Hawkins, you're going to SmackDown.
It's like, why don't you just make SmackDown the land? They call it the land of opportunity. It's the land of jobbers. Like, because that's what they're gonna call it.
Just called AJ Styles a jobber.
Daniel Bryan, God, I think they're sending him to Raw. Oh my God, come on.
And
Do you not want to see him fight Brock Lesnar?
No, I don't.
You don't want to see him fight
I don't
Brock
want to
Lesnar.
see him Brock
You don't want to
Lesnar.
see him make Brock Lesnar tap out.
No, it's not gonna happen.
He's not a wrestling fan.
Brock
He's not wrestling.
Lesnar-
Eric, I'll give
I
you the
don't
mic
want
here.
to see.
You
I
wanna
want to see
that, right?
Daniel Bryan in safe
You wanna see
matches. I almost said. I almost said it. We almost got kicked out of YouTube.
Okay. So, no, relax. Okay, now, Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar. They will tell stories. I'm pretty sure about that.
Brock Lesnar doesn't care about the WWE.
I know.
anymore.
He definitely doesn't care about WWE. He doesn't
And we don't
care.
even know how long his contract is.
That is true. And the thing is that does bother us is that Paul Heyman can say whatever he wants. Brock Lesnar, if he continues to wrestle with WWE, he will wrestle with WWE. And if he wants to fight in the UFC, he will fight in UFC. He's going to do whatever he wants. So that kind of leaves us wondering, okay, what is he doing then? I think Brock is like, I don't care. I'll do whatever I want. He's just going to give us that. If we have him here right now, he's going to tell us, you know what, you guys can say whatever you want, but I'll do whatever I want. All right? If I want to fight so-and-so, I'll fight so-and-so. I don't have to listen to you guys. He's going to say that to us.
You do realize, though, we are getting Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley first and foremost.
Yes,
Before we get Daniel Bryan. We need to see
I'll watch that.
I want to see Daniel Bryan and The Miz first. I want to see that
I forgot
first.
about that.
Okay.
That needs to be the culmination of a year and a half, 2-year build. Honestly, that's the culmination since Daniel Bryan got into the WWE. They've had heat since they got into the
Exactly.
WWE.
Exactly why he needs to move over to Monday Night
No,
Raw.
you put Miz on SmackDown where he was much better and you have much more of a showcase.
It's kind of see-through, though. There's a reason he faced AJ Styles the other night on SmackDown. Because we ain't going to see that match for a long, long time after this. You know,
I'm afraid they're putting him on Raw.
There's more
and that is
storylines on Raw
and,
for him.
and they're trying to kill Daniel Bryan.
Oh my
before,
God, no, they're not.
And if I'm Daniel Bryan, I'm thinking if they put me in a matchup against Roman Reigns in a barely advertised matchup on Raw and have me lose, Daniel Bryan, I don't think has signed his new deal. If he has, you can correct us on social media, on YouTube, on our SoundCloud.
I don't think he has, though. I think
If he has not, I would start thinking about getting out of that bad boy in September.
That'd be kind of bad for if Daniel Bryan were to go up against Roman Reigns, because they're gonna try to make they're gonna make Roman, of course, be the face in this one, and they're gonna have two good guys go at it like they used to back in the days. But the thing is that nobody likes Roman.
It's gonna pun in, excuse me on my pun here, but it's gonna be a major backlash if Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan face off on the Raw brand. And it's gonna happen if he moves over to Raw. They're gonna tease it. They're gonna tease it instantly. And guess what? Who do you think, Vince, is going to win those chants in the crowd? Yeah. Yes.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
if he's
Yes.
that delusional that he thinks Roman Reigns would get over more than Daniel Bryan, the guy should just drop his job right
Vincent
on
Man
right
is
there.
crazy,
Like,
man. That man has done a lot of crazy stuff. That mofo insane. So like,
but he is though. That's the funny thing.
like
he
he
is.
insane, and
Yeah.
we're not saying that in a bad way, because the man, some of his insane ideas has turned into $1 billion company. I mean, WrestleMania this past weekend was an insane, crazy idea, and now it's like an extravaganza.
I think also is that maybe how they're gonna play it out if they do wrestle Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. I'm pretty sure the commentators are gonna say, "Oh yeah, they're gonna face at this arena." Now, keep in mind, this is the arena where people don't like Roman Reigns, and now keep this in mind. This is the arena. Okay, so we're basically gonna be saying that every arena that they go to, they're gonna say that. Keep this in mind. This is the match where This is the night where Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble in Philadelphia. Now the people can be different in every arena. I don't know about that because every arena sounds the same when Roman goes out there.
Sounds like
sounds
like this.
Boo! And then it just dies down eventually when everybody's too tired to keep booing him. And, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, it's all about keeping SmackDown at least somewhat relevant so that when you get that deal with Fox next year, because it's going to happen, when they go to Fox, you've got to keep SmackDown at least something to watch. You've got to. You've got to have something attractive and sexy for networks to be like, okay, yeah, we'll have SmackDown on our show. And it already pisses me off because I'm hearing they could put Raw on Fox and SmackDown on FS1. So that's already a slap in SmackDown's face. We're going to put SmackDown on the lesser channel. We're going to put SmackDown on non-network television. If anything, you put both of them on Fox. What comes on Monday and Tuesday night on Fox? Do you know what comes on Monday and Tuesday night on Fox?
Hell no.
Nobody knows what comes on Monday night and Tuesday night on Fox. Put them on Monday and Tuesday night.
Well, you can actually, if you don't get that channel, you can always subscribe to the WWE network.
Because how much does it cost, Ryan, for new subscribers?
It's absolutely free. Hey, Sam Roberts, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Hey, Sam Roberts, nice promo, by the way, on WrestleMania. Nice job,
What's
man.
good, homie? What's good, man? Were you excited, man? Were you excited, bro?
Yeah.
Or did you forget the timing?
Man, too much hanging around Jim Norton. He couldn't get his lines right.
I don't know what happened with that situation. I don't want to talk too much about it.
There's nothing to talk about. It's stupid Sam Roberts.
I'm not going to
okay,
call
so
the man
we've
stupid.
impromptu.
We might apply for a job one day.
I could care less. We've impromptu got into the next wrestling segment, so let's just continue. Let's talk about the shows, though. Raw and SmackDown. Because we talked about WrestleMania. We didn't get to everything, but I think we can kind of get to everything by Raw.
Wait, before we get to that, have you guys noticed that when Cena was hanging out with the crowd at WrestleMania, did you guys notice that he was getting a little buzzed? Yeah.
Yeah,
I keep telling y'all that was apple juice. I keep telling y'all that was apple juice, but whatever.
He was either getting buzzed or he was feeling bad for that pregnant lady next to him that she had to sit through all that.
Yeah, like I told her, I was like, man, like I told my mom, I was like, good Lord, this pregnant lady must really be pissed off. He's like, man, I had to get up out of the bed today. like I was like, I can't eat no dang food. This man got me here for 7 hours. I gave him these tickets and now I'm pregnant. And now I'm sitting next to John Cena and I know he's old. And all these dudes keep coming over trying to take pictures of him, and John Cena's getting buzzed. I know she was like, "Oh man."
I laughed when you said that. Oh, dude, that shit is apple juice. You didn't know that?
Yeah, I was like, "That's apple juice, man."
Okay, so just so you guys know, the Tuesday lineup for Fox right now is at 8:00 Lethal Weapon, 9:00 LA to Vegas, and 9:30 The Mick.
Yeah, delete all of that.
Yeah.
Delete all of that.
Delete.
Besides, okay, you moved the first one. Was it Lethal Weapon? I actually like Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon. Whatever,
You said it wrong
man.
again.
Dude, I'm tired, man.
Bret Hart with 2 T's, man.
Dude, I'm
Unbelievable.
tired, man. Whatever. Move that to another night and put SmackDown live on Tuesday nights, man. 8 to 10, Raw 8 to 10. You have them competing one night on the same network, just like now with the USA Network, but on a bigger stage on Fox. I think it's going to be fantastic. Just move it because USC's got a deal landing with NBC and
UFC is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I read about it. They got a deal with NBC Universal and I believe ESPN. So, I mean...
So WWE and UFC are doing their own little superstar shakeup then. Just switching brands.
Yeah, they're just switching brands. And let's talk about who's switching brands next week.
Well, do we want to talk about that or do we want to talk about the amazing shows we saw in SmackDown and Raw?
We can talk about the amazing shows we saw on SmackDown and Raw real quick, and then tie it into Superstar Shakeup.
Oh my
whatever.
goodness! It's not even football season.
I mean, I miss football season.
February, man.
We're in the draft in like 2 weeks. We got a long way.
Yeah.
But
Save that for the.
Although Thomas Davis got suspended for PEDs.
nobody
but-
cares, Ryan. No, nobody cares.
Save that. Save now, Nick. Save that for your other podcast.
That's a good point. Yeah. But so Raw, SmackDown. Obviously, we talked a little bit about Carmella becoming. Actually, we didn't really talk about Carmella becoming the women's champion. I thought the whole thing with the Iconics coming out, beating her up, although the crowd kind of gave it away, because I actually wasn't thinking about that when I was watching SmackDown. Crowd gave it away. Carmella came out. I was excited when she won the match. You know, she's deserved it for a while. Maybe not necessarily to take it from Charlotte, but man, did she really shove it in her face after the match, which I think this whatever this ends up being between Charlotte and Carmella will be heated for a while.
I do think it's kind of it's fantastic because we know what everybody was thinking. We were thinking she was going to give credit to James Ellsworth for giving her that Money in the Bank briefcase. And
You think James Ellsworth's coming back will help her cheat during that
I pray
match?
to God James Ellsworth.
Well, I
back, 'cause
think
that was the best part of her character.
Yeah, there's no way I think they have her lose the title to Charlotte, right?
No, well,
She's not just going to lose it right back. I think Ellsworth's going to come and screw the whole match over.
Ellsworth. I don't know. I mean, looks like he's doing fine with NWA wrestling. He's got his own feud, and he's going after the title. Nick Aldis, the NWA
For his sake, and I know he's married.
For his sake.
I know he's married, but
Yeah.
who the hell wouldn't want to walk around with Carmella every single
He's not
show?
married.
He's got
not-
kids.
He's got a kid, but he's not married.
Ooh, and Carmella and Big Cass aren't together anymore.
Well,
right?
Big Cass may be going to SmackDown. So
I thought
Carmella's going over to Raw. No, I'm just kidding.
No, well, I thought that Big Cass isn't coming to WWE due to his affiliation with Enzo Amore. You know,
I heard he got a name change, like a trademark name change.
What's his
to
name?
his
gonna be?
real-
Colin Cassidy.
Colin Cassidy. So he's gonna call
Mind
him
that?
And I'm not happy with that, just due to the fact that Big Cass sounded much like Colin Cassidy. Like, come on, like, what are you gonna call him? Big Colin? Like Big C? Big C?
Double C.
That was already a name. That was already a name. That was a TV show.
C-Note.
C Note.
Well,
That's
that's
actually pretty.
C squared.
Well, that's from Fresh
No,
Prince.
we had B squared
Yeah.
with John Cena
No,
back in the day.
Now, C-Note's from Fresh Prince. I'm not sure you remember.
Say it again.
I'm not sure you remember the name C-Note from Fresh Prince when Carlton went all gangbanger in Compton with.
I remember that. That was pretty
Oh
funny.
yeah. But yeah, getting back to the point, yeah, Carmella, it's gonna be interesting to see how they book her because the Raw after Mania, they're always or the SmackDown after Mania, the Raw after Mania, they're always gonna have the elite crowds. But next week, booking is very important for Carmella, and booking is very important for the superstar shakeup because the way Carmella's title reign is booked can make her either a pretty decent champion or good champion, or make her a Jack Swagger.
Oh, that is an insult.
Or make her the female Jack Swagger. You know, because let's face it, okay, Carmella doesn't have the best wrestling ability in the world. I mean, but she doesn't have the best wrestling ability in the world. She's hot as hell, but let's just be honest here. She, was lacking in, honestly, the heat department. I heard no heat for Carmella. So her ability to get over as a heel is going to be essential. That's why I think they should bring back James Ellsworth. They've got to bring him back because they've got to find a way to get this girl some heat as a champion, or else this thing is going to be over very, very soon.
Well, if you're looking technically at the wrestlers, Charlotte and Carmella, Charlotte should wipe the floor with her. But you're right. There needs to be some heel stuff that happens. And I think bringing Ellsworth or having something else that we're not thinking about happen in this match.
Well, bring somebody.
Yeah.
Other than just James Ellsworth. Like I said, he's doing his own thing. But for Carmella, I liked how she. The referee was taking his time to try to
Don't you love how
cash in.
Kyoto juiced the whole thing? Me and my
Yeah.
brother were like, dude, put the cash in.
Yeah,
what are
I
you
was
doing?
like, what the heck is going
Yeah.
on?
What's the holdup?
I was like, what's the holdup? Like, they
It's
really
because
should.
she was screaming and he
Yeah.
couldn't understand her, but clearly we all knew what was going
Yeah,
on.
she was giving him the thing.
These,
like,
these
come on,
referees
like,
are the
bring
dumbest human beings
Yeah,
ever,
like,
apparently.
Yeah, and basically that's a play off the NFL, the NBA, how all referees are dumb. All
I like
referees
that,
are
yeah.
idiots.
No.
But at the end of the day, it was a great moment. It was fantastic. The crowd was amped for it. I was, but I started thinking immediately after. Okay, in the words of Goldberg, who's next?
Who's next?
What's next for her? Is Charlotte going to Raw? By the way,
Could happen.
okay, if you want to do WrestleMania 35, you got to keep Ronda Rousey and Charlotte completely and totally separate, unless you want to make them a tag team. Unless you want to bring in a women's champion, tag team champion.
No, man.
And have
I was
them
gonna say
implode
this.
like the Mega Powers.
I was going to say this. I swear to God, I texted that in the group and you stole my idea.
I didn't text anything in the group. No,
That is theft. I was going to mention that literally in about 2 minutes that they should admit. Well, first of all, they should. Okay? Because there's a lot of women that are underutilized. And a tag team, you add 2 other women to any match, and it's, it gets up. And, if they want to make, that's like one of the last few things they can actually do with the women that's new.
I think that's a really, really bad idea. Because
I'm not
there
surprised.
Won't be another tag. There won't be
I'm not
another,
surprised Ryan thinks that's a bad idea.
Hey, man, I'm not always negative. I'm not always negative.
Okay, but what percentage of
always
negativity? I think the only positive thing he was about was Hulk Hogan on this show. So far.
Well, I mean, like,
hey, man, the man allegedly didn't like black people. So, I mean, I
which
think
is super surprising. I thought you were going to give him. I thought you had the most heat with him.
Well, speaking of,
it makes no sense.
Well, speaking of black people,
Speaking of black people,
this is Eric's black update.
Congrats to Naomi.
Tell us what's going on in the black community,
Yeah,
Eric.
Congrats to Naomi and,
on winning that
Cardi
trophy
B's
that
pregnant.
looks like a vagina.
How does it look like a
The
vagina?
trophy looks like a vagina. You don't see how
It looks like
a vagina.
it looks like a plastic trophy that you win at like Dave and Buster's. I don't know if it looks like a vagina.
A plastic vagina. That's what it looks like, man. It looks like a plastic vagina. I mean,
Oh, man.
that thing looks like. Mama,
Did your mom think it looked like a plastic vagina too?
no comment, but yeah, fallopian tube and everything. and everything. We were like, oh, shooky, this is a vagina. Congratulations for winning the vagina. I mean, the women's trophy.
Yeah.
Women's battle royal. I mean, yeah, but salute to Carmella. Let's see what's going on with her next. What did you think about Ronda Rousey making Stephanie McMahon tapped out? You know what somebody said, and I instantly thought this too, and I get upset sometimes because people like say things before we get on the air, and then it looks like we're not authentic. But Ronda Rousey and Stephanie McMahon's angle reminded me of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon after WrestleMania 14. You remember that angle? You ever seen that, Matt? You've ever seen that angle?
I actually have not seen that angle, no.
Really? Okay, well, feel free to go on and the WWE Network immediately after and watch that angle where Vince McMahon says, hey, we got off onto the wrong foot. It's a new season now. It's WrestleMania time. It's after WrestleMania. You're our WWF champion. You're going to be leading the ball. We just need you to just fall in line with corporate measures. And Stone Cold Steve Austin pretended like he was going to do that and then stunned Vince McMahon like he always did. So it reminds me of Ronda Rousey and Stephanie McMahon, and somebody mentioned that earlier on their podcast in their review of Monday Night Raw. And I think Ronda Rousey was handled perfectly. Perfectly. Don't say anything. Be a badass.
Yes.
Don't say anything. Break her arm and walk out.
I agree with you on that, and I'm gonna transition this. Actually, Eric, I'll let you talk. Anyone want to say something?
No, yeah, definitely. Do I see a Austin and McMahon comparison on this one? We might be seeing that just as far as Ronda, just like you said, be a badass, and also just kick ass, be anybody, and just don't say anything. Just keep that mystique. In a way, keep the mystique alive.
Yeah, it's one of the 48 laws of power, like I told you on Ryan Rants last week. What you want to say, Nick?
Oh, no, I was going to say that I wanted to transition this just to give them credit for that match at WrestleMania. Rousey, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Kurt Angle. That was the match of the night for me, at least. That was the way they had Kurt Angle put Stephanie in an ankle lock and Triple H go one-on-one with Ronda Rousey in the middle of the ring, and Ronda Rousey just whooped his ass. Yeah. It was fantastic, dude. I really enjoyed that match, and I think one of the reasons I liked it was because I didn't really know what I was going to see from it. Yeah. And I think that's the one good thing about all these authority matches is a lot of times, and this just shows you, as much as some people don't like Triple H and a lot of people think he buries a lot of people, his matches at WrestleMania are always entertaining, except for the one against Roman Reigns, but that wasn't really his fault. But I just think man, they just did such a good job. And then they tied it all into Monday Night Raw, and it wasn't this big segment where they took up an hour worth of the show. It was just Ronda Rousey did her thing, broke her arm, and that's all we saw. You know?
And you could tell by Dana's face, because Dana White was there in attendance. You guys saw that?
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he was there. It looked like he had a lot of fun, and he was clapping, and I think that was like his first event since he was a kid.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
Oh, he can't. He has to admit that it's entertaining. Dana White can't go over and say that it's not entertaining.
I mean, he takes WWE guys all the time.
Exactly.
Come on,
allegedly,
from what I hear, there's a rumor that always circulates that he is in constant communication with the WWE people about how to promote, how to do this, how to do that, and he takes from Vince McMahon.
It's smart, and Vince McMahon probably asks him about stuff too. It's probably a mutual thing. I mean, they're both promoters in the end.
It's that love-hate relationship that I see, if anything. I think it's just the fans that just take it too personally. They have the exchangeable words, that I say.
It's a symbiotic relationship. Yeah. You help me, I help you. We both benefit off of it.
Exactly. You know, that's why Brock Lesnar's going back to the UFC, and then he'll show up at SummerSlam and all that stuff.
That's why he can do that. I mean, I think Raw was a good show. I think Raw was a really, really fun show to
Absolutely,
watch.
It was.
Jeff Hardy coming back surprised me a little bit. Brother Nero. I think he should go over to SmackDown.
He could.
I think I really, you know who I really want to see on SmackDown Live? I want to see a few people. I want to see Samoa Joe. I want to see Braun Strowman. And I want to see Finn Balor.
Okay, how about
I'm very pissed off, by the way, Finn Balor didn't do the Demon at WrestleMania.
Wasn't gonna happen. Made no sense, Ryan. I don't know why you
did that. Well, it made no sense that you have Finn Balor for everyone in the LGBT community. Not that I'm against it, but not that I have any homophobic vibes or anything. But I'm just saying there should not be a whole bunch of LGBT people coming out like when you can have the Demon come out. You know, it just doesn't make sense.
Hot take.
Also, by the way, I heard allegedly Stephanie McMahon wants to make him gay on TV. Which
this changed the whole thing.
Is Kathy Kelly okay with it?
Yeah.
Kathy Kelly doesn't have to be okay with it.
Kathy Kelly doesn't have to be okay with it, but it would be terrible because, you know, we all know he's dating one of the hottest women, you know, out there.
Two things.
Kelly. And he's an incredibly good-looking dude.
Two things.
It's like, what the heck, man?
Two things. One, I agree with you on that. And I also believe...
Agree with me on what?
That they shouldn't have done the whole LGBT. Like, it made no sense. It came out of nowhere. It was clearly a spot just to make WWE look good, right?
Because Stephanie McMahon says, you know, it helps the brand.
It does, but to wrestling fans, when you do that and then you have Triple H kick Ronda Rousey in the stomach and put him in between his legs, go for a pedigree, and you have Stephanie getting put in an ankle lock, and then you got midgets in pancake suits come out next.
I told you they were
Nobody remembers the LGBTQ and stuff.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared. And then the second thing was, if Samoa Joe goes to SmackDown, is there a chance that Roman Reigns possibly goes to SmackDown?
No.
And they carry this rivalry over to...
No.
It could happen. If you switch Daniel Bryan to Raw, you'd almost have to switch Roman Reigns over to SmackDown. But Seth Rollins isn't going over.
I don't know. I mean, it looks like the WWE wants to protect Roman Reigns as much as possible, so they're probably going to keep him on Raw. And Daniel Bryan, since he's been having, that leaves with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Will they continue the rivalry with Daniel Bryan, or will Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn after Monday night? They're gonna go to TNA since Kurt Angle mentioned that.
God, that was such a great.
That was so unexpected.
God,
my brother and I popped so hard when we were watching.
TNA
Oh man.
Which was awesome. That was great.
I think that's the first time they've ever mentioned them on TV. I remember
they mentioned them. No, that's stupid. Caval.
Well, no, he said total nonstop action in a rap. That doesn't count. I'm saying officially. Remember Michael Cole used to do all that stuff for NXT. By the way, that's some of Michael Cole's best work when he used to do those NXT, the old NXT, especially the one with the women when like AJ Lee was on it and stuff like that. And he used to just be distraught. He used to hate it. And just talk crap on it the whole time.
Yeah, I mean that part, the total nonstop action, what Caval said, that was different. But Kurt Angle just said it like nothing.
Yeah,
like it was nothing. So just that one comment just left everybody all in shock, even me.
Well, if you're gonna do it, why not do it the Raw after Mania, where everybody knows what you're
Oh
talking
my
about?
goodness, dude.
Everybody and your mom knows about it. Like, come on, dude.
Well, I mean,
Like,
I can't even I can't name one person on TNA right now.
Austin Aries.
See, but he was wrestling for what, the Ring of Honor Championship the other night? Like,
he was going back to back.
the problem with TNA is they've turned into like an independent promotion now. They're not their own. Like, it used to be It honestly used to be WWE and TNA.
No, yeah, definitely.
And then there was independent wrestling. Now TNA is they just switch and they go to Lucha.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, when TNA got the green light going to Spike TV back in 2005, it was TNA. Like, they were their own brand. Yeah. 05, 06, 07, 08, 09, they did stand out as like a brand, and it did get serious when they brought in Hogan and Bischoff and all these guys. And definitely I can tell you that TNA was at its finest during those years. Even people can say, they can look back at it, that they probably say, man, even though I was critical about it, I actually enjoyed what they did, you know. I think there's fans like that, but I think, like, after broken Matt Hardy and obsolete Jeff Hardy left, it hasn't been the same.
No, it hasn't. Now Lashley's gone too, so it's just
And EC3.
Yeah, good point.
And Lashley,
Rockstar's blood.
yeah,
Drake Maverick. What an interesting name. And I'm very disappointed, by the way, with that match and how it didn't get the crowd reaction that it should have gotten, and how it didn't get the placement on the card. That should have been the main event of the pre-show, and it wasn't the main event of the pre-show. So, I mean, also,
Is that really that big of a disappointing thing, though?
Yeah,
Just a stupid pre-show match. Who cares?
it's for the damn 205 Live Championship, Cruiserweight Championship.
It's a
man.
minor league show. That's what it's turned into.
Yeah, well,
It's a
Triple
secondary
H-
show. It's like
Triple H is getting.
It's
a
like
hold of
ECW
it.
back in the day.
Triple H is getting a hold of it, and we all know NXT used to be a minor league show, and now it may be the A show.
Oh, it's not gonna be the A show.
Oh, NXT is the A.
The wrestlers,
show.
they're all one-dimensional. They're all small and they all do flips. No, I'm just saying.
Randy Orton. Hi, Randy Orton.
Yeah.
But look, I think Raw and SmackDown was good. I think Daniel Bryan being able to wrestle again is beautiful. I just hate the fact that Paige is now the new GM. I just, that doesn't make any sense.
Wow, Eric, he hates something.
I
Oh
mean,
man.
Why? Why is Paige the new GM? Why?
I can tell you why, because there are a lot of fans out there who don't want to see Paige go.
Hey, don't put her in a segment with the Xavier Woods. Put her.
We all know the New Day. The New Day is probably going to Raw since they lost that match to the Usos on SmackDown. They're probably going to Raw. I mean, my brother and I were like, this match, the loser leaves the brand essentially.
Yeah,
during that match.
Like, please, God, please. If you truly love us, Vince McMahon of the WWE, you would put Xavier Woods and the New Day in the same ring with Paige.
You could do that, and then also you could have. Oh, and my assistant general manager is
Brad Maddox. Yeah.
Hey. That'd be the
Realest guy in
second
the
live sex celebration in wrestling history.
The realest guys in the room.
Yeah, the realest guys in the room. Legitimately, the realest guys.
That
in the
was
room.
honestly the build up to WrestleMania last year. That
It was.
a good-
Oh, there's some funny phone calls, man.
Oh man, be a dick, man.
I was driving in LA and I called Ryan, and this was when I had my old car and I could play it over the loudspeaker in my car, and I played our conversation. We were talking about Kurt Angle and we were talking about all this whole sex tape thing with Paige, and I was just playing it out loud like everyone could hear it. And I just did, but dude, but I obviously that'd be great.
Man. And then when the guy was like, "Hey, can you tell me where the Page leaks are?"
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't remember. Did he say God bless or no? I don't remember him saying God
If
bless.
you say God bless, it would have added a nice touch, but.
But he's like, "Thank you."
Nonetheless, we've talked a lot about wrestling. One more thing I wanted to mention just before we transfer to the UFC because we need to move on.
Nick's not random.
Well, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that in a
Non-wrestling
second too. But the Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy stuff, fantastic on Raw, and I
love it.
can't wait for them to probably win the tag team titles.
I would
soon.
love for them to win the tag team titles, and it's just a lot more. And you know what? Somebody brings up a great point too. If Jeff Hardy goes to SmackDown, you lose the opportunity for him to be Brother Nero. You lose the opportunity for you to have a triple House of Hardy, and then you lose the opportunity for a possible at Survivor Series. You can do the Balor Club versus the House of Hardy, or you can do the Shield versus the House of Hardy.
Shield's only 3 guys though.
Yeah, and House of Hardy would be 3 guys with Bray Wyatt, Woke and Matt Hardy.
Survivor
and
Series is supposed to be
Brother
5-on-5 though.
Doesn't matter. Survivor
Yes, it
Series
does.
is about tag teams versus
No,
tag
it's about the
teams.
5-on-5 tag team. You are
Okay.
making that up. You're making
It's
up
tag team
rules
versus
for
tag
Survivor
teams.
Series.
Okay, so Survivor Series, it's kind of a long way to go. So that's in November.
It's a good point.
And also,
But it's in LA.
The Shield, Ambrose has yet to heal. Seth Rollins, he's too busy with his Intercontinental title. And Roman Reigns, he's got his hands tied with
Not being over. Yeah.
Not being over.
One more thing I want to mention just before we switch segments is I'm thinking I'm gonna make one prediction. I think the New Day actually gets split up between brands. I think New Day actually gets split up. I think like Big E probably is the guy that goes to Raw, and then the other 2 stay on SmackDown.
That would suck. But then at the same time, I'll keep in touch with the Up Down Down channel.
Oh yeah, no, you still can.
What's my big prediction?
Yeah, we'll each make a prediction.
Let's see.
Come on, Ryan.
Going
You gotta
to
have a
Raw,
good one.
Going to Raw. I think what's I honestly think, you know what I think? I think AJ Styles could be put on Monday Night Raw
With the WWE Championship?
I would not. I would not be surprised one iota if Vince McMahon screws with
Puts
SmackDown.
Lesnar on SmackDown?
Maybe, or has him lose the title to a SmackDown person like immediately, and then also going to Monday Night Raw. Let me see, who's my big person or going to SmackDown? I'm gonna say Finn Balor goes to Tuesday nights. I think he's the perfect fit on Tuesday nights. Imagine if Daniel Bryan stays on SmackDown. If you have AJ Styles, for instance, if he doesn't let AJ Styles go to Raw, I don't think it's going to happen, but that's my big prediction. AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman. That is your SmackDown 6, ladies and gentlemen. That's a pretty damn good SmackDown 6.
Well, that'd be really good. But honestly, dude, I think with the whole Daniel Bryan thing, he lost the match, left, had nothing left, and Nakamura. AJ Styles is gonna have something with Nakamura again. They're gonna have another match. It seems like, and Daniel Bryan just kind of lost the match.
He didn't lose it. Did he lose it?
Well, it DQ'd. Whatever.
Yes,
It
he
DQ'd. But he got DQ'd. He rolled out of the ring, left. Nobody noticed because they were watching Nakamura stuff. He's probably going to Raw. They kind of left that match alone. If they want anything else to do with SmackDown, I think they would have had something to happen to that match.
I gotta admit, I think that match, Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles made up for Nakamura and AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
That match was damn good on SmackDown. I'll tell you that.
I thought that was actually pretty
What's your
good.
prediction for the shakeup, though?
Okay, so the ones I can see from Raw going to SmackDown, because I want to focus on SmackDown. I'm tired of focusing on Raw. I would like to see Finn Balor. I like to see Finn Balor, Strowman. I would like also to see Alexa Bliss on SmackDown because she got over on SmackDown when she was the women's champion.
What's your major prediction, though?
Prediction.
One that people might not necessarily be thinking about.
I could maybe see. Man, I know this is crazy, but I believe that this brand made this guy on SmackDown back in 2002 and 2003. I want to see Brock on SmackDown.
Oh, okay. So you're saying AJ Styles, he's saying Brock. I'm saying the New Day gets split up. That's
this
my
is
man.
2005 when the title switched brands. Like when Batista went to SmackDown and John Cena went to Raw.
Yeah.
Although that first month, Raw had both titles.
Well, plus I think Vince has probably been looking to have. Oh well, no. See, the problem is the Universal title's red.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
And initially, and that's,
Once he shows up, it's blue.
yeah, he shows up in blue. Also, and initially, SmackDown allegedly was supposed to get the Universal Championship, and Raw was supposed to get the WWE.
Makes sense because
Championship.
Raw kind of should have the WWE Championship. Raw is
A show.
it's the flagship show. They get the most ratings, and that's why they're going to be on Fox.
Also, do you think Sasha Banks or Bayley, one of those two women are going, or even both are going to SmackDown?
I think
Live?
it'd be both. It'd be both or neither.
I hope Sasha Banks goes to SmackDown because that's her dream. She wants to go on the brand that Eddie Guerrero competed on. That was he was the main staple of that brand. And I think you can see some fresh feuds. I think also, hopefully down the line, I would be very interested in seeing a Sasha Banks Ronda Rousey feud. And that's another reason why maybe you want to put Bayley on SmackDown. To do some things there. Becky Lynch probably goes to Raw, right? We can all agree
That's
on that.
one of the most
She wasn't
like,
even on the
predictable
show
one, yeah.
last week. She didn't even come out to help Charlotte, or she could stay on SmackDown and start a heel feud with Charlotte to keep her occupied.
Good, but I think it's Carmella and Charlotte now.
Yeah,
So that's the
yeah.
mute point. But all right, let's move on to my segment. This is Nick's completely random non-wrestling segment today. Guys, let's talk about music a little bit. I know we all have kind of different interests in music, so just want to get your guys' thoughts on your like favorite songs right now, favorite tracks, all this stuff, favorite people. I know Ryan and Eric are definitely different in music style. I think we might be a little more the same.
Oh, me
as
and
far-
you, Nick.
Yeah, a little bit more than I think me and Eric. But I'm like a hybrid of you two. I actually like both.
It's kind of funny. I
Yeah.
was listening to a lot of music on the way here when I was in the studio waiting for y'all, and Cardi B just came out with her new album, revealed her pregnancy and everything. Everybody and their moms talking about her pregnancy and her new album. A lot of people have mixed opinions on this song, but I actually kind of like it. I like the beat. Be Careful with her just talking about, I guess, Offset. I think that's a really dope song. I actually like that song.
I like that song too.
I like it. It's just got a good song. But her live version that she sung on Saturday Night Live, I don't know if you've seen it yet. Go and look on
I've not seen it yet. I
Look
want
at
to see
it on
it.
YouTube after the show. It's fantastic. I
Cardi
love
B is my sister is headed to Coachella right now, and
Your sister has a fantastic life.
well, but,
Your sister has a great life.
I'm not gonna get into how she got to Coachella.
I don't.
But she
oh,
just
you're
she's
gonna
not.
tell me. You're gonna
she's
tell
not
me
gonna
off
go.
air.
She's not gonna go again. Let's just say this. But we're not talking about.
you
It's not
gotta
time to talk about
Tell
my
me
siblings.
off air. You gotta tell
Yeah.
me off air.
But
Woo!
Coachella, she said that Cardi B's gonna be there.
Oh, yeah,
and she's
Cardi-
gonna perform. I thought so. She seems pretty pregnant though too.
She's like in her second trimester.
Yeah, so
5
that
months,
is
6 months.
a little sketchy always when women can do
Well,
that. But
apparently, according, she was on the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club is a syndicated radio show. I listen to it all the time. Shout outs to Charlemagne the God, one of my inspirations. And they said how she's going to be in L.A. today, today or yesterday, and she's gonna do a 10-hour rehearsal, 10 hours of just rehearsing for
Coachella.
For Coachella. It's gonna be.
Well, because
brutal.
Migos is there too.
Yeah.
And obviously Offset and Cardi B.
He's there too.
Yeah, it's gonna
Beyonce,
be brutal,
Queen
and
Bee.
I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, salutes to Cardi B and the Be Careful album. I mean, and I listen to a lot of old stuff. I listen to rock too, man. I've been listening to Desert Rose from Sting a lot.
Yeah.
Like that's one of my favorite songs. So I mean, yeah, I like that. The Cardi B music. What else is out? Who else has got good songs?
Drake had a new song that came out recently.
Oh yeah,
I like that one with all the.
women appreciation.
Yeah,
all these God's Plan and the other song. I don't like it as much as I like Fake Love. Fake Love
Fair.
is fantastic.
Fair point.
And Passion Fruit. Passion Fruit's great. I love me some Passion Fruit.
Damn. Well, for me lately, over from the hip hop world, I was listening to this band from 1998 called Rhyme Poetic Mafia. They were featured on a movie called Road Dogs, and it's a song called Minds of Madness. I don't know. That song has been on my mind lately. It's been playing through my head. And also the Fourth Chamber from Wu-Tang Clan. That song, very underrated, but also one of my favorite tracks from the Wu-Tang Clan, Fourth Chamber. And over onto the hard rock and metal world. Yesterday I've been playing this song called Bordello Blood from Anthrax, one of my favorite bands in the heavy metal world. Underrated as well, but that song was featured in the movie Tales from the Crypt, Bordello Blood, back in 93, 94, around there. And another song is called Microwave from Pitch Shifter. That song was featured in the test drive, one of the test drive games. I would say they're more like the founding fathers of industrial metal. So thanks to these guys, we get guys like Rob Zombie, Powerman 5000, Static X, and so many others out there. So they're like the founding fathers. They're actually going back on tour, but yeah, those are the songs that have been going through my head lately.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I listen to a lot of different types of music. I don't really listen to a specific genre of music. I listen to a lot of rock, metal. I also listen to a lot of rap, and I also can get into the tunes from the kind of party tunes, the ones that are very popular. But I think so. My tops right now, I can't remember what the name of that song is that Drake came out with, the women's appreciation. But that's one of my favorite ones right now.
Something like What You Want. Or
Yes, something like that. That's a good one. I'm always down for some Kanye West too.
Oh,
Kanye West music is always pretty good. Like anything. Like I can go back and listen to like stuff from his Homecoming album. Exactly. I can listen to
a little Anita. Will definitely set this party off right. Gonna be.
that. But
Well.
I can also transition into the heavy metal world with like some Rage Against the Machine. That's always some good stuff. I always get into the WWE themes from back in the day too. Some of those guys. I can always listen to some Motorhead. Stuff like that. So I'm a little more of a mixed
Limp
book.
Bizkit. Oh man, I was listening.
Limp Bizkit. You know what's funny? I
was all over Limp Bizkit this weekend because My Way. My opinion's the best wrestling theme song of all time.
Yeah.
Well, we were playing like a lot of the heavy metal tracks on my show on
Yeah,
Sunday.
Eric's show was really, really fun, and we were all rocking out to some of the music we were playing.
Yeah, it was all WWE themes.
It was all some old WrestleMania themes, stuff like that, ladies and gentlemen, all this stuff. Rolling, everything.
Race from church.
Yeah.
I raced.
Yeah, RKJ Man surprised us in the studio. We didn't expect him to show up last time, but that was pretty cool. But
we were definitely giving like our predictions of WrestleMania, and while we were doing that, we were playing a lot of the.
Supposed to be a non-wrestling segment.
Yeah,
Come on.
a lot of wrestling things.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So I'm more of a mixed book. You really play me anything. I can even get into like Taylor Swift and stuff like that
Yeah, you can
occasionally.
shake it off.
I can shake it off if I have to.
Now,
So-
the question I have for you is this: what is your opinions on Cardi B?
I love Cardi B.
do you
I think
think- do
the
you think Cardi
character
B
of Cardi B is like the best character in music
Do
right
you
now.
think Cardi B is legitimately, because Nicki Minaj, I think we're taping this on a Thursday, so she's supposed to drop an album today,
Oh, okay, wow.
or not an album, like a mixtape or something. So apparently, there's rumors going around that first of all, Nicki Minaj is pregnant. Second of all, Nicki Minaj has beef with Cardi B, and like she's dropping stuff. Like their careers are mirror the same. And I'm just praying to God we get our rap beef, just like Drake and Meek Mill a few years ago. We get Nicki Minaj.
Gotta build up the
versus Cardi B.
storyline.
Yeah.
Just start building up the-
I did remember that. We were doing that for Thurston with the Arcade Jam,
yeah.
and we were playing like back-to-back tracks with Meek Mills and Drake. I remember that.
And I got it out. I remember before the radio stations in
Before
LA.
Big Boy.
Yeah, I got it out before they
That's
got it
fantastic.
out, man. I got it out, man. Everybody was like, "Oh man, that's so cool." I was like, "Yeah." But at the end of the day, like I think Cardi B is one of those really interesting, polarizing figures.
Absolutely.
Because she can go either in a really good direction with this pregnancy, or she can fall off the hill with this pregnancy.
What's the storyline with her pregnancy
The storyline's gonna be, man, at the end of the day, her and Offset ain't gonna make it, man. I don't think they're gonna make it.
I don't think they're making it
And
either.
apparently Tristan Thompson's cheating on Khloe Kardashian, man.
That's
like,
not music, Ryan. What are we
I
talking? We're not
don't
talking about the
care. I don't know.
Kardashians,
I just
man.
needed to bring
Man,
up
we're not on a
Tristan
roll,
that's
Thompson.
why.
Kardashians, man.
The Arcade Jam is on a roll, so that's why you wanted to insert that. You know.
Hey, but
Man, this is not a Kardashian
it all matters
segment.
because it means be careful. Be careful out there. All right, be careful, because you get caught. These.
I mean, the
yeah.
Kardashians have had enough with the NBA players,
Yeah.
right?
And black men.
They're ruining their careers.
Hey, I'm up next to date a Kardashian.
Does Tristan Thompson? It's good,
Well, you're-
but you don't play basketball though.
No matter.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I did play basketball. I did. I was a point guard.
You're a point guard.
Yeah, in my
Judging
right,
by your size, I'm not surprised.
yeah, in my right moves for youth, intramural basketball team.
Wow.
And I won a coach's award. It's on my Facebook. You can look it up on my Facebook.
Oh, I
When
played-
was this?
Yeah.
When was this?
This is back in 2011 when I was in.
I played
school.
basketball. I went to Catholic school and I played basketball in a little Catholic league. And
Yeah.
all I used to do is now think about this. This is how bad I was at basketball. I used to sit in the corner, the 3-point corner, like Klay Thompson does for the Warriors. But man, they didn't count threes, so I was just taking long shots for no reason.
Wait a minute. How did you not count three? How
They
you
just didn't count threes because the court was smaller than like a regulation court that we used to play. It's a Catholic thing. They wanted everybody to feel good. They didn't
How,
want kids.
how old were you during this time?
This was like 6th, 7th grade, 8th grade kind of
You're a
stuff.
little Dirk Nowitzki
Yeah.
over there.
I was a little dirty. No, I used to be short though. Now I'm 6'4", but I used to be like 5'8" back in the day.
No, the ring general's got to play some b-ball.
I used to
No.
foul the hell out of people though. When I fouled people, I made it count like Charles Barkley.
No, the ring general's got to play some b-ball. I still got my b-ball.
We have to.
Little
And
Bill Lambeard.
Yeah.
Bill Lambeard.
yeah, little Bill and Beer. I was that white player on Duke that just pissed everybody off except.
Hey,
I was
don't bring Duke into this.
Oh.
Don't bring Duke into this.
You're a Duke
man.
fan, right?
I am.
Okay, well then I'm not.
Don't bring
no,
Duke into this,
understand.
man. Disrespecting my Blue Devils, man. But look, Cardi B, getting back to Cardi B. Cardi B, okay? Cardi B is very interesting because some of her music I actually do like it, and some of her music I'm like,
Just stop hitting
I'm
the table.
I'm not feeling it, man. I'm not feeling it. But I know we got to end this segment soon. Like, I just think Cardi B and Nicki Minaj need to go ahead and get their rap beef out of the way, man.
Let's get that match at SummerSlam, man.
Let's get this matchup at SummerSlam.
Okay, so speaking about slamming things,
Oh my gosh.
we're gonna move on to the UFC, and there is well enough to talk about in this
That's our
segment. This
final
is not
topic of the day.
yeah.
Glass?
Final topic of the day. We heard Broken Glass, but did not hear Stone Cold's music after it. This what was it? Thursday, Friday.
Why does
Thursday.
good stuff always happen after the podcast, by
That's
the way?
what I texted Nick. I texted him like 2 or 3
I was
hours.
so frustrated I couldn't text you
I
guys.
told
Literally.
him, why does everything controversial have to happen after the Ring Generals podcast?
So last Thursday, if you don't know what happened, Conor McGregor went nuts, brought a bunch of Irishmen over from Ireland
Hey, why
to
you gotta
beat
be
up some.
specific about
No, they were all
what
from Ireland. They came from Ireland, flew over the pond, the
Irish
Atlantic Ocean.
gangsters.
Absolutely thugs, as Dana White painted them as to be, and they beat up some people. They threw dollies in the glass. They wreaked havoc. They got arrested, and
Conor
Conor
got
McGregor got 3 fights canceled off the UFC card just based on the glass that broke through the window. He almost ruined the Rose Namajunas Joanna Jędrzejczyk match that was essentially the main event of that whole pay-per-view. With what happened with the main event, we'll talk about that in a second too. But man, guys, how does this affect Conor McGregor's career? Is this Dana White said it was a bad career move? I think this is just the start of an epic rivalry with Khabib Nurmagomedov.
I think this is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think Conor McGregor is getting that title fight. The next matchup, I think you've got to build this up. If Dana White is like Vince McMahon, and if he's getting this stuff from Vince McMahon, and he's saying to himself, I want ratings. I'm a ratings whore. I'm going to be able to be I want pay-per-view buys. If he's saying that in the back of his mind, I'm going to put Conor McGregor and that matchup in the main event the next pay-per-view and give him that title shot and let Conor McGregor and Dana White. You don't even have to build anything between oh boy and Conor McGregor. I can't say his name, so I'm not going to attempt to say his name.
Just say Khabib.
Okay, Khabib. Okay, yeah. You don't have to build anything between them. It's just got to be purely the storylines between Dana White and freaking Conor McGregor, and that's why I think that this could be, ladies and gentlemen, a work.
A work. I remember you saying that to me because, a lot of people say, Conor, why'd you do this? Conor, why'd you do that? You're letting down your fans. Hold up a second. When you say that you're letting down your fans, not really, because I'm looking at this. It's more of a publicity stunt. And another thing is that this guy, Conor, he's also a businessman. He knows how to promote. So what better way to promote his next fight by throwing dollies at a bus and also, injuring most of the guys on the bus? What better way? And yes, it is unprofessional what he did. It was unprofessional, but there are a lot of people in the UFC community who said that. But come on, guys, like, are you serious? Like, he's gonna bail out. He's gonna get out of jail. Just watch. He's gonna get out.
Well, he's got a court hearing in June, so something will happen. I doubt they put him in jail or anything like that or send him to prison. I mean, it was assault, but you gotta understand the circumstances. He's not a normal dude, and a lot of people might find that as a weird comment to make, but
I mean, it's the truth.
It's the truth. It's why Hulk Hogan would be allowed to come back to the WWE. We're just talking about after saying the racist comments. Like, when someone is that much of an icon in their whatever they're doing, they get certain things because people still want to see them. If you're in demand, you can do things that are dumb. It's why the Jackass guys are so popular. How stupid have they, like, some of the stuff they've done? But
Incredibly
everyone
stupid.
loves them. If they come out with a 4th movie, man, we're all going to go see it, and they're going to break the box office. They're going to be number 1.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. And Conor McGregor, I think, I don't know necessarily if it was a work. I think he actually was that mad, and I think he wanted to wreak havoc. And I don't think this was planned or anything with Dana White. But think about this, and we talk about privileges. Dana White goes, he even said, oh, our relationships, it's a little worse, but, normal. Any other guy would have been fired for doing something like that. And Conor McGregor was not fired, and that clearly shows that he's getting a title fight soon, or he's getting another big fight. He's getting that 3rd trilogy fight with Nate Diaz or someone like that. But he's got 2 titles he can go after too, because he was the featherweight
I would go
champion.
after both.
But I'm saying
both.
it's easier for a guy like him, since he kind of deserves to have 2 title fights. He didn't ever lose the titles. The only loss he's had was against Nate Diaz, and he avenged that with a win. So essentially, he's still somewhat undefeated in the UFC. He hasn't lost to any of the opponents he's faced in a way.
So for me personally, when I was looking at that Conor McGregor rage last Thursday, and I was looking at the video, and I was just in awe. I was thinking one thing. How much money did Conor McGregor lose to the UFC when he went to go fight Floyd Mayweather?
I don't think UFC pays that well, so I don't think he lost that much money. No, I think boxing.
But how much money did he have to give as a result of him going to box? How much money did he have to go give Dana White? Because if Dana White said, "Hey, you can go fight Floyd Mayweather, but you got to pay me some money from that gross," and it's a significant amount, and Conor McGregor is now getting stripped of his title, that would piss me off. Now, and also, we don't know if Dana White even said anything to Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor just found out on social media, or just found out like the rest of us on ESPN or social media or whatnot. So that probably factored into why Conor McGregor had that outrage.
Well, he also was stripped of his title really for just inactivity.
Non-competition, right?
Yeah, well, and it seemed like what was funny is the day before that, because there was so many crazy changes in the main event that had nothing to do with Conor McGregor.
6 times.
Yeah, it changed like 6 times, and we'll get into that in a second. But he announced, amongst other things, that Brock Lesnar was going to fight for the UFC again, but he also mentioned that Conor McGregor was going to fight soon. So it was very strange to have Conor McGregor come out and do the stuff he did.
Well, was it strange or was it a ploy? Was it a work? That's
no,
what I keep saying.
I don't think it was a work. A work would have to be kind of between Dana White and I think this was Conor McGregor promoting whatever his next fight is, which he did a good job of. We hadn't talked about Conor McGregor for a long time. And all of a sudden now he was the number one thing to talk about with this pay-per-view. We really should be talking about Rose defending her title and winning again. We should be talking about Khabib dominating Al Iaquinta, who ended up being his opponent, in one of the most dominating title fights I've ever seen. But we're talking about Conor McGregor throwing the dolly at the bus. And that's good promotion. They say all good, what is it, all good...
all promotion is good promotion.
It's
all
not
controversy is good.
That's not the saying though. It's all
controversy creates cash.
I can't think of it for some reason, but you know what we're talking about.
All publicity is good publicity.
There it is, right there. Yeah. There it is.
Yeah, definitely. Man, it was shocking, and I just showed you a picture, Nick, just a few seconds ago. There was a title that says right there, Conor McGregor posting pictures with Irish criminals. Before the
you probably brought him with him.
Bus attack.
Oh yeah, oh boy, that was some gangster stuff that Conor McGregor did, and
notorious stuff.
It was like it kind of reminds me of like was it the NWA movie when Ice Cube walks into that dude's place and just starts freaking just beating everything with a baseball bat because he's not giving him his money, and that's what I'm saying. Usually when stuff like this happens, always it's a money thing. It's a money issue. Conor McGregor is having some type of money issue with UFC, and Dana White and them, they be using people. They use them. Right? You saw Ronda Rousey get out of it. She got out of it. Conor McGregor, come on over to the WWE, bro, because you gonna have because they're using you. They're playing you like a fiddle, and once they're done with you, they gonna toss you aside and go to their new instrument.
No, yeah, definitely. If you want to break buses, Connor, you can do that in WWE. You can.
And you won't even get punished for it either. No jail time.
No, you'll just get a matchup.
You can
on Raw that night.
You can handcuff a guy to the ropes and make out with his wife.
Dude, you can get these hands. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Get these hands and make out with the wife.
You can be in the back with the Iconics. You know?
Woo.
There's no chicks in the UFC that look like the Iconics. I'll tell you that right now.
Goodness gracious. Peyton Royce.
Maybe Paige Van Zandt. Maybe.
Peyton Royce is my weakness.
Ooh. I couldn't handle myself. I watched SmackDown last night.
She is my weakness.
Oh, I totally forgot.
And on a side note, pause real quick. I'm sorry to say this, but can we all agree that Peyton Royce is just a bigger star right now than Billie Kay?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, Billie Kay held her own with those promos and stuff.
And it's sad, too, because I like Billie Kay, too, but Peyton Royce is just, she's got the better look. They let her do all the talking. Literally. They let her do all the talking, mostly.
Because she did. That was a damn good promo she hit, though. All the complaining and stuff. It's good. They're good heels. And I like them. I liked them. I didn't even really follow them in NXT, but I'd see stuff on like YouTube and I'd see stuff on Instagram and stuff, and I'd be like, man, I really like these two chicks.
Okay, press play on the current topic.
So, back to UFC.
Let's
play. Talk a little bit. We talked about Conor McGregor. We think what's gonna happen with him. Let's talk a little bit about the two fights. Rose Namajunas goes 5 rounds with Joanna. I'm not gonna say her last name again because I've said it like 24 times the last couple days.
Is that the one with a lot of K's in it?
There's like J's and Z's next to each other and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy last name. But Rose, hey, she defends her title, and a lot of people thought her first fight with Joanna was a fluke. Joanna was like the champ in the strawweight division, and Rose beats her. It's a lot like Ronda Rousey. Reminded me a little bit of that too. So, I was impressed by Rose. Rose is the clear champion. She seems like I'm not ready to say she's the best women's champion. I still think Amanda Nunes is a beast. But man, Rose really held her own. It'll be interesting to see what they do next. I think we talked about this on your show before Ryan got there, that there is going to be a trilogy fight between these two, but I think their next two opponents should be different opponents. You let Rose see if she can actually defend her title again against somebody else, and you see Joanna, hopefully Joanna just beats the hell out of her next opponent, proves she can have another title fight, and we have a third fight, because this fight was really, really good on Saturday.
No, yeah, definitely. Joanna, she held out on her own. She endured. And this time, I felt like there was more of a respect that she gave to Rose in the last fight.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think it might have humbled her. And so for this one, she went at it. And I was impressed by both of them. Of course, I was with Rose on this one. Rose Namajunas, she did do her best. She did her best to throw in all those punches and, kept on the ground. But also at the same time, they all went through 5 rounds. And decision-wise, Rose, she got the better of Joanna again, and so we might see a trilogy. But in the meantime, if we get that trilogy, Rose should fight somebody else, and Joanna should do her own thing. And after that, we can get the trilogy that we've been wanting.
Well, yeah, because it will look like the women's division, at least for strawweight, is kind of slim if they have another fight between Joanna. It'd be dumb.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be a smart move. And then moving on to Ryan, do you want to say something about that fight?
No,
now?
I agree with you. Like Rose was great. We got a trilogy coming up. I'm looking forward to it, and I just think they're missing that star though in the women's division.
Yeah, no, they are.
That
You're
can
right.
really go mainstream, and casuals like me can just get on the board.
Because Ronda Rousey was like the star of the UFC.
Yeah.
So, and then moving on, and just to explain to you, I'll do it real quick, because we've talked about this a lot. The main event was crazy, and it was crazy because of raging Al Iaquinta finally getting the fight. But it started out with Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson tripped over a production cable, tore his ACL. He got stripped of his title, so he wasn't going to fight.
How strong
Then
was that cable?
Then the featherweight title, the featherweight title holder, Max Holloway, said, "I'll step in." I think he had to gain some weight. "I'll step in. I'll fight Khabib. I'll try to become a double champ." Well, the New York State Athletic Commission said, "We don't think you can you can gain that weight in a healthy manner, so you're not fighting." Then Anthony Pettis' name came up. Then a couple other guys' names came up. And finally, the day before the weigh-in, and an hour, or the day before the event, and an hour before the weigh-in, Dana White announces that Long Island's favorite son and real estate agent, raging Al Iaquinta, is going to get the fight. He was the 11th ranked fighter in the lightweight division. He gets the fight. He put on somewhat of an underdog performance, actually going the distance with Khabib, but it was still dumb. I mean, when you looked at the stats after, it was like, I don't know, it was the most dominating fight I've seen from a UFC fighter, at least in a long time. And then Khabib wins the fight and calls out George St. Pierre after the fight. So I guess that's the next fight we see. I think George St. Pierre is the welterweight or middleweight champion.
I think he's the
he used to be welterweight. I think he might be middleweight
he
now.
He might be middleweight, and I remember when he came back, GSP, that was his first fight in 4 years.
Crazy,
He hasn't been fighting in 4 years, and he looked great. He looked great when I saw him. He
Not as great as Khabib.
Looked like he hasn't left at all. They kept himself in shape. So GSP and Khabib, right?
Yeah, that's hopefully it hasn't been announced, but he called him out, and that'd be a great fight.
Yeah.
I still think Khabib's the best fighter. I still think we need to see this Conor McGregor matchup, but nonetheless, it was a good UFC pay-per-view. All the stuff with Conor added to it, and it was a good way to kind of get off the wrestling a little bit, because there was a lot of wrestling. There was a lot of NXT and stuff like that too. So
I remember you were watching the event on your laptop, and then you were watching.
I went from NXT straight to the UFC, and then it was the NHL's final day of the season. There was a lot of playoff matches, so I was watching like 3 different things at once.
Fantastic,
dude! Absolutely, dude. That's what I'm saying. I got it on the laptop illegally. And watch the UFC. Watch the UFC fight.
They're coming for you.
Doesn't matter. I have a great site if anybody wants to talk to me off off mic.
Yeah.
I'll have to give you the
Slide
site.
in next DMs.
Exactly. I'll give you the site to watch. It's great. You
Yeah.
can watch the Dodgers if you're in LA. You can watch anything. You can stream anything. But nonetheless, this podcast has run its course so far, and we're
I
gonna.
hate when you say it like it's like a bad thing. We ran
No,
its course, man.
not at all. I was just about to say we're gonna be taking a break at least next week, so we won't be on next week. But
Yeah, we gave y'all a lot of content.
a lot of
like,
content. So
y'all-
we'll let the Ring General stuff breathe a little bit. We'll come back with you.
Oh yeah, you stole my stuff this week.
In a week or
alright.
two, and talk about the Superstar Shakeup and all that Saudi Arabian pay-per-view and
Oh
all
yeah,
that
we
stuff.
gotta make our predictions for that.
Yeah.
But
So, but as far as this one goes, this was a fun one, guys. WrestleMania is over. We got 300 something days till the next WrestleMania, but it was a fun weekend. I enjoyed it.
let's plug. Let's plug. Nick, what's your social media?
Social media. Most of my social media is all Nick Nenad, lowercase, and I believe my Snapchat is at Nick_Nenad. But I don't use Snapchat that much, so don't worry. But I post a lot of the Ring General stuff on Twitter as well.
Eric Santos.
Yeah, check us out on our SoundCloud at the Ring Generals. That's where you get to see me and also hear us out, and also Instagram at Santo, and also check us out on Snapchat. I'm not really on Snapchat. So
Smack chat.
well, whatever.
YouTube and SoundCloud. We got the Ring Journals podcast, always delivering that good content. It's either gonna come up Friday or Monday, whenever Nick can get it up, we got it up. Okay. 'Cause
Hopefully
Nick,
today. Hopefully today.
Nick be working hard on this stuff, man. You know, like I couldn't do it. So shout outs to Nick once again. I'm at Instagram RKJman21, I believe, and on Twitter it's the RKJman, and Facebook the RKJ Man if you want to do the page, or Ryan Johnson if you want to add me on Facebook. Hey man, just follow us all on our dreams. And gentlemen, oh, by the way, I gotta get a shout out to Maria. She did compliment me. She said she loves my Ryan rant, so shout outs to Maria. Thank you very much, Maria, for listening to Ryan Rants and the Ring Generals. Salute to everyone who listens to the Ring Generals. Spread the word, y'all. We've got plenty of stuff on demand on our YouTube and SoundCloud page, with more coming up tomorrow or Monday.
So I think it's time to raise the glass.
Raise the glass.
Raise a glass in the sky and salute the Ring Generals.